In her brand new shoes, she walked to the river. She kept to the path to protect the leather. And the blister was a constant reminder of every step that had taken her closer to the water. She stepped off the bank. The water broke her fall. And just for a minute, she seemed to float. But then she sank, thanks to the stones she'd sewn into her grandfather's overcoat. And images of her life flashed before her eyes. Madeleines and moonbeams, red balloons and breakfast trays, bacon and eggs, and a diamond ring fizzing in a glass of chilled champagne. And the joy then was just as intense as the sorrow there was to follow, as today gives way to tomorrow. And the blister, well, I added the blister to remind me of my sister, who only exists in the mists of my memory. When man first heard his very first bird, could he sing along? And when the words wouldn't come to greet the dawn, did he whistle and hum? And was it long before he strung together verbs, adjectives and nouns? And was it wrong to steal the tune, change it around, and create a brand new sound? The Spirit of the Woods by Michael Shaw. The old druid picked his way carefully over the stepping stones of Poitevin brook, walked over the muddy bankside and sat down wearily between the roots of an ancient oak. The tree was heavy with mistletoe and was flanked by two young hawthorns, appearing to guard its huge mossy bulk like soldiers on parade. He sighed and took from his cloak a gourd containing mead spiked with belladonna and henbane. For 2 minutes he examined his surroundings in minute detail. He identified 10 species of bird from their calls, but only saw 3. He looked at each tree for the last time and felt sadness tinged with relief. He noticed the grasses, wild flowers, and mosses and lichens, marvelling, as so many times before, at their delicacy of structure and subtlety of colour. Now he drank deeply and closed his eyes, allowing himself for the first time in 2 days to relax. As the cocktail of drugs began to take effect on his exhausted body, he drifted into a shallow dream in which his life passed slowly across his fading consciousness. He relived his 5 years in Gaul spent as apprentice to a druid of exceptional knowledge and experience, and the 10 years he lived and studied in the sacred groves of Anglesey. Then he remembered being advisor to the chief in 2 different villages, first in Essex, then back to northern Gaul. He saw again how the Celts lived in harmony with their vast forests, harvesting much from the wild and felling only enough trees for their settlements and fuel. He recollected many years of quiet, satisfying life and work. Then rumours from the south. His first sight of a Roman road. An unhealing scar, unnaturally straight. The felled trees like unburied corpses piled high in the sun. His first sight of a Roman legion. How could so many men walk in step? unnaturally disciplined. He was involved with many druids in organising special vigils, prayers and sacrifices of animals, but nothing appeared to stop the inexorable progress of these grain-eating automatons. He wept inwardly for the scattering of Celtic tribes and the disappearance of Celtic civilization. However, many chiefs saw advantages in being puppets of the Romans and cooperated in the Romanification of the anarchic and romantic Celtic people. He himself had picked up a smattering of Latin and Greek from Celts who had spent some time in Rome. When Gaul was all but lost to the Romans, he crossed back to Britain.
Safe in Britain? Not for long. The invasion force had already established itself in the southeast and was unrelentingly moving north. Now he would stop running. He would die here, amongst these woods, just outside the village of his birth.
As he was drifting into deeper sleep, he had a different dream. He dreamt that his 60 years of knowledge, experience, and love of nature had left his body and become an almost tangible thing, a sprite, or maybe a spirit. Then he saw the name of his ancient craft, Druid, transform itself into Druad, and then Dryad, the Greek name for the spirits of the woods. And he saw the 3 separate words encircling the little wood. He died peacefully, knowing that at least this small sector of woodland would be completely safe for 3,000 years.